is, for me, I'm going to have on some nice bottoms. And I'm saying bottoms because they could be jeans, they could be leggings, they could be jeggings, whatever it may be.
But you would have been wearing that when you were married. Come on, bring it. Bring the real. Those are the things. That's it. You were wearing jeans and bottoms when you were married. I'm bringing the real.
I know.
What's available? What's looking available to you?
The real. What's looking available to me now is that when someone flirts with me, if I choose to want to be interested or thinking that I want something back, I can do that now versus when I was married. No. So that's the difference now. I can turn back and look and respond to whatever the flirtation was.
You got that look?
You understand what I'm saying?
You got that look, you batting those eyes, you throwing that hair back over your shoulder?
I don't throw my hair back. I just turn and I just look and smile. If they flirt with me. I don't never flirt.
You got that walk?
I don't never.
You have that walk?
Well, I heard that I had that walk,
You're going to get me after this show.
I don't know. I sure am. Just a little bit.
The
but,
student,
I heard that I had that walk. But
when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I'm ready. I'm asking questions.
Whatever. Don't try to use that one on this one. No, ma'am. So, and that's the thing. Like I said, I was, having a conversation with you is that now I have to be conscious of, that was a flirt because when I was married, it just went over
right
my
over your head.
So now I have to
didn't even notice.
Did he just flirt with me? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Where your friends are like,
that was,
girl, he was just flirting with you. Oh, girl, I thought he just wanted to know the time. I didn't know. I didn't take that as a flirt. You're kind of trained also, right? To kind of not even feed into that stuff sometimes that, it's like, and every time you drop a pin and he picks it up and you're like, oh, he likes me. You're not trained in that mindset to that was a flirt, when a lot of times it really ain't a flirt. Ma'am. But, women read into things. But
I went to the vitamin store, minding my own business. This man, he comes up. Now, we got the pandemic, so you know how I am, right? Mm-hmm. First of all, you need to be 6 feet away from me. You too close. So I moved further away. And he turns around. And so I'm still looking, trying to find the vitamin that I was looking for. And so I know he come back again. So he comes and he says, excuse me, but you know what? I just had to say something. First of all, when you say you just had to say something, that's a flag. Then he said, you look like my wife. I was just on the phone with her. And you look like my wife. And I was saying to myself, how did my wife get here? And I'm saying so this is what he's saying to me. And I'm saying to myself, you don't know what your wife look like? You don't know what kind of pants your wife had on this morning? You don't know what color your wife hair is? Your wife couldn't have had the same exact pants I had on. That would be really coincidence. But she had the exact same tennis shoes, the exact same pants.
Her mannerisms, the way she moves. Yeah. Right.
And the way I was standing.
My scent. You don't know my scent?
Her mask. Right. The mask that I had on. I mean, just everything.
Right.
And he kept coming. And I did this. That's what I did. I'm like, no, I don't have anything to say to you, sir. I am minding my own.
I thought you were going to tell me he was going to say, you remind me of my wife, as if that's his pickup line in saying that, you might be my wife.
That was his pickup line.
That was weak.
Actually, he didn't say remind. He said, you look like my wife. That was got me. I'm thinking in my head, I look like your wife. I can see maybe, have some type of similarities, but you just told me you just got off the phone with your wife.
Was he saying he really did have a wife, or was he saying you look like the standard of what he pictured his wife to be? Like that's his come on line.
No, he really had a wife.
Wow. Okay, no. That's not a good pick because you just really let me know that you have a wife, and so that's a turn off. Boom. Shut it down.
Right. And then you talking to me. Girl, I was like, Lord, let me sign these vitamins so I get up out the store because I am not the one. And, and that's another thing when you talk, you know what I'm saying?
So it's kind of difficult. Public, yeah. public interaction, things like that. And how about you go out at a restaurant, or you meet your friends at a club? Well, restaurant and clubs are two different places because everybody has to eat. So you can be you can be treating yourself to a nice steak dinner. You can be in town for work or whatever. You're at dinner with yourself or your business colleagues or whatnot. So I guess that's different. If someone approaches you during that time, that's kind of legitimate. But clubs, nah, you're in the club every week picking up a woman.
I'm beyond that age of club, so no.
Well, I like to dance. So when I say club, I don't really mean the club. I mean, you might be out listening to a live band. I'm an Emerald City fan. Everybody who knows me know that. So I love live music. And if I'm out in that setting listening to live music, typically it is at some sort of establishment like a restaurant or a club. I'm not talking about the clubs. Drop it like a high, drop it like a high. I was going to say that, but I was trying to keep it clean because I'm trying to remain PG on this thing. But yes.
So was that not?
No, that's cool. That's cool. I was going to say it a different way, but you said it in a nice way. So yeah, that's that club scene is not for this age group.
Definitely not for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I won't say this age group because for some people it is. When the opportunity presents itself, if I am at a stage that I'm ready and I am mentally ready, to interact or date, I'm not closing that door. I'm not closing that chapter because I'm still young. I feel like I'm wife. I am wife material. You know what I mean? Happy. I'm vibrant. I have for myself, I feel like I have a lot of life left to experience. And so if and when that opportunity presents itself and my standards and my preferences are in order and aligned, I'm okay. I believe there's a level of discussion with your children. Let them know when you are ready, or just to see how they feel. Just take that measure what the climate is with them. And my girls have actually, in having just a conversation about other people, I had a conversation, even with my youngest, and I said, wow, that was very mature of you to, encourage your friend to accept, their parent dating again. And she turned and said, I feel that way about you, Mom. When you are ready, I'm okay with you dating. She said, Daddy would not want you to be alone. He would not want you to be by yourself. This is coming from a 14-year-old at the time. Mm-hmm. That he would not want you to be alone. He wouldn't want you to be by yourself for the rest of your life. And she said, and I know you make good choices. She always uses those terms. I know you make good choices, and I trust that you will make a great, choice. And when you're ready, I'm okay with it. My oldest, in her 30s, she's like, Mom, I don't want you to be alone and by yourself, and a good companion for you as you get older and up in those years. I'm okay. So I think having that discussion with your children is important. Did you and your daughter talk about it?
Yes, we did. I do think that it's important to have that conversation, when you're ready, or if you're even thinking about it, that you want to date, that you should have that conversation. So, I think that it's important to see where they are about you dating, and make sure that either way, if they're a positive or a negative, but at least consider your children when you're talking about dating, because this will affect them as well. And actually, my daughter, like you said, kind of was the same as Amira. She presented it to me. She was like, Mama, Mama, you need somebody. That's what she said.
The like versus the need, but the daughter said you need somebody.
Right. You need somebody.
In
I
her
was like,
way.
what do you mean?
Yeah.
I need somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, well, I think you should have a friend. That's what she
Okay.
said. I said, you sure? And she said, yeah, Mom, I think you should. And I said, okay. So, once she felt comfortable
Mm-hmm.
with saying that, she felt it was comfortable, she was comfortable with me dating someone, I was like, okay. So they just kind of put the icing on the top for me,
Right.
to make the
Because there is a
decision to date.
difference. And I think your children start to feel that, like, we're having conversations that I remember you having with daddy. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
start almost conversing with your children like you did your spouse, sharing information or level of detail that you did with him, because that's in that space with that trust. And I recognized that. I started having certain conversations with my daughters and even my sister that I realized I would normally not have with them. It was more so
Right.
between my late spouse and I. And when you have that confidant that you're able to share that information with, and it's not going to be, you're not going to be judged for it, or it's not going to be thrown back in your face. At least that's the relationship, I had. And then when it actually was, I realized, wow, that's your fault. Like, you put that on someone that typically would not manage that for you.
I think it was just the fact that she wanted me to be able to move forward. She
Okay.
wanted me to be able to um, have a life, and because people were always saying that family was my life, my husband and my daughter, and so she just wanted me to know that it was okay, that she was okay with me moving forward, having someone in my life other than her dad. So
So
I believe that's where she was coming from.
yes, that's understandable. When do you think it's appropriate to introduce them to children and family?
I think it depends on if it's someone that you're going to be serious with.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if it's someone that you're dating and you're going to be serious with, and you both on the same page, meaning you both want to take this up, other than just friendship. And once you have reached that point, I believe then now it's time to introduce to at least your children
Yeah.
first, and then your family if necessary. By me, uh, my family is like, girl, go for it.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
like, go for it. Whoever, just let us know, so that, because my family is open hearted. I should say, they will drill you, and that what I mean by that, they're going to ask you a bunch of questions, so you have to be prepared. Even at 50 some years old, yes, my family still do that,
Yeah.
but it's out of fun. You know what I'm saying? Because they also believe, they call me hard, but they also believe that the decision that I made, it's going to be a good one regardless, because they know who I am.
I completely agree with what you're saying. Maybe the level of relationship that you have, that it's a commitment and you're looking at it more so as a long term, but undefined, not saying marriage, but a long term. And I think it's important also to introduce your children to someone that you're dating, because before it gets too serious, I think it's important that my kids meet the person and the person is compatible also with them and fit within our family, in our space. So
Okay.
I wouldn't want to go all the way down the road and about to marry the person, then introduce my children and they don't get along. So
Right. Yeah.
there's
But
a
that's a whole nother subject.
right,
They
but
don't
there
get along.
right,
Whoa.
exactly. So the kids, vetting them, at their level and what they see is important, and me feeling comfortable with that person around my girls. And then, the family, letting my family know that, in my close friends and within my circle, that, you know, this is someone that I've been